Right then, this is a quick walk around video. This is for a Honda CR-V and it's the 2-litre EX manual car. This particular car's covered 80,000 miles, and as you can see here, it's finished in metallic blue. This is the sapphire blue, which is very sought after on the CR-Vs, and it comes with a full black leather interior. So just to go around the car for you, the car looks absolutely fantastic in this colour. It really does. All the lenses are good and intact. There's no cracks or condensation in those at all. Incidentally, if you hear the engine fan cutting in and out, the engine's been running for some time now, and that's quite normal. It's a pretty hot day today. Bonnet is very clean indeed. Any stone chipping is very minor, which is much better than you'd expect given the mileage of the vehicle, I should think. Near side of the car, very clean and smooth down the panel work there. Show you front alloy. Can't see any obvious or major marks on there. There's a couple of tiniest little marks on the spokes, but very minor indeed. And then panel work, as you can see. If I can hold the, sorry, I've got a horsefly attacking me at the moment. Is lovely and clean. And come down this side again just to show you. It's not to say, as I say on all these videos, these are to give you a sort of guide for the car. Sorry, alloy wheel there. Can't see any obvious marks. Again, just a tiniest bit of curving right on the outside edge. You know, we positively encourage people to come and see the cars still. I will miss the odd thing. It's not by intent, but you know, this is really just to give you a guide of the car itself. Around the back of the car again, all very clean indeed. Offside of the vehicle. Panel work is really clean and crisp there. And then side of the rear alloy, can't see any marks on it at all. Panel work down this side, said all very nice. So there will be the odd little stone chip or mark or abrasion on the vehicle, but you have to kind of look for them more than them jumping out at you. And then your final alloy there, all but unmarked. So on the exterior, look at the car, very nice looking car, and one of the best colours of all, in really nice condition. Coming into the boot area, as you probably know on a CR-V, you're talking about an absolutely massive boot area. Tonneau covers all there, as you can see. Obviously you've got a 60/40 fold on the rear seats, and they sort of tumble forwards really easily. And on this generation CR-V, which I love, the rear seats are actually on runners, so you can actually push them forward as you would on a front seat ordinarily, by a good sort of 7 or 8 inches at least. So what was already a big boot ends up being absolutely cavernous. It's coming under the engine bay now. Always sounds a lot noisier on the videos than it does then when you're actually stood here, just by the way the video picks it up. But lovely, beautifully presented as expect from Honda. Very tough engines indeed. These take on massive mileages in their stride. Let's come to the back of the car now, parked in the shade actually because it's a bright sunny day, which is lovely, but it does play havoc with the videos. All in very good condition. These are family cars, so they, you know, find kids sort of bang their feet on the back of the seats, but this one sort of managed to remain pretty unscathed. Sorry, the light's terrible there. But the leatherwork is in really lovely condition. And so you've got absolutely masses and masses of legroom in these cars. They are absolutely cavernous. Coming to the front of the car now, driver's door card, again generally good, just a few little light marks on there which you'd expect with just sort of rings and bracelets and things. Solera is all very nice. Driver's seat, electrical adjustment there, all works absolutely perfectly. And the seat itself is in very good condition. They're incredibly hard wearing, these. And then just put my up there, you can see this lovely panoramic roof, which is days like day glorious. So if it's too hot, if you're bald like me, you close it over and then just flick of a switch, open it back up again. So sat in the car now, engine's running as has been all the way through. Passenger door card, all in very nice order, and then your front passenger seat, as you can see there, again in equally very good condition. Dashboard itself, all in really fine order. Just to show you on these ones, pop that up there because it's the later version. You get this little point there which you plug it in, it'll charge your phone but also play your music off your phone through the stereo of the car. Coming across, obviously sat nav on the EX model, so I'm just going to close the sunroof over so it doesn't glare quite so much, and then pop it into reverse, and we've got a lovely clear parking camera, on top of which you've got parking sensors, so absolutely no excuses to bash into anything. Dual zone climate control working absolutely perfectly, all the switches in fabulous order. 6-speed gearbox, only wear on this car, always get it on the CRVs, a little bit of leather work, just rubs away where hands kind of grab and grip on there. You can sort of touch them in, or you can get them replaced for next to nothing, so they sell them off at eBay these days for pence. And then down in the centre console, loads of stowage areas, heated seats, all working absolutely perfectly, as you can probably see. And then come across the main binnacle of the vehicle. I'll just pan in there, 80,436 miles, and there's no warning lights, just the low fuel light currently on, which is forcing the information light up there. Auto lights, auto wipers, and then this multifunction steering wheel, which has audio top left, cruise control top right, bottom left you've got your hands-free functions, and bottom right the information display. But it is a car in really nice condition. They're fantastic cars to drive and to own, more importantly, but this one's been kept very nicely indeed. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and this is the 2-litre EX manual version. This particular car has done 80,429 miles. It's registered WR11RVK. The reason we do the videos, as I said in all of them, is very simple indeed. The internet is absolutely brilliant, because it means you can look much further afield these days with ease and look at lots of cars you might want to buy, but it also means you'll be probably having to travel further for the right car. That in itself can be fraught with having your time wasted quite clearly, as we've found to our own costs, which is why we do the videos actually, because what you want to know, is there a fundamental problem with the car that I need to know about, and that's why we do it, so we can feed back anything to you, good, bad or otherwise. This road test is to give you feedback on the major mechanicals of the car. It doesn't cover everything, I'm not going to pretend it does, but it's going to be the obvious stuff, the seat of your pants stuff. As soon as you get in a car and drive it, you know, are there any warning lights on, is there any clonks, bangs, anything fundamental wrong with the drive of the car, and if there's something wrong, I do tell people. So starting with the car itself, engine of the vehicle, 2-litre VTEC Honda engine. They produce about 150 horsepower in these cars. This one starts absolutely instantly. There's no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car, apart from low fuel, which I'll attend to in due course. Temperature gauge running at a third. It's at its maximum operating temperature now. That's as high as you'd expect it to be on a Honda of any type, actually. The engine pulls very sweetly indeed. These are incredibly tough and durable engines. Don't take my word for it. You know, here I am selling you a car, or trying to, you know, speak to people who know about these engines. This engine is used by Honda in various guises. Pardon me. And you know, they can produce a lot more power, well over 200 horsepower to these things, very reliably. So this is in a very mild state of tune for this engine, and they last hundreds of thousands of miles with just normal and regular servicing. So it's a wonderful unit, and as an example of one, I cannot fault it at all. It pulls and sounds exactly as it should, even with, you know, a quarter of the mileage on it. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, very smooth in operation. Bite point exactly where you'd want it to be, so it feels like it's got lots and lots of wear left in it. It's well modulated. It's a nicely weighted clutch pedal on the Hondas. They do these little things very well indeed. Clutch then goes through to 6-speed gearbox. Classic Honda gearbox in the sense that it's brilliant, of course. It's got just a fantastic weighting to it. It's got a very, very precise gate. Quite a sporty action. It's quite very short in throw, but it's just the quality of the gear change. The synchro mesh is the best in the business, bar none. They are brilliant at synchro mesh, Honda. And it makes the engagement feel mechanical. You feel as though you're actually part of driving the car. It's not some vague stick in the middle of the car you waft about and occasionally find a gear. This, could be this was in someone else's sports car. You'd be happy with it. Here we are in a SUV, as they like to call these things, and it's brilliantly done. Positioning's brilliant, nice and high up. Your hand naturally falls straight off the steering wheel to it rather, and it just makes changing gear, a genuine pleasure. I mean, it actually adds to the drive of the car, doesn't detract, as so many do. And as I said, the video's purpose is just to sort of pick up on any issues. If there's anywhere, I cannot find anywhere in the gear change at all. There's nothing. But they do manufacture these secondary things, if you want to call it that, the bits under the skin, incredibly well, Honda. Car tracks bullet straight. There's absolutely no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel of the car at all. Even up to the legal limit. I can't go any faster than that, obviously. It feels tight, it feels taut, it feels very, very precise indeed. Perfectly matched to the chassis of the vehicle. It's got a lovely weighting to it in terms of kind of the old school as well, which I really like. It's got you actually feel as though you're in control of the car. It's not over light like there's so many modern cars are, and I've had loads of them, and I know, even hustled along, the steering's really good, and especially over bumpy, yumpy roads where light steering can be kind of vague and horrible. These, you still feel totally in control of the car. Chassis of the vehicle, again, rides absolutely beautifully. Very, very comfortable cars. It handles really well for a big car as well. Corners relatively flat, but you still get quite a nice, soft, comfortable ride as well. What I'm looking for again on this, so I'm just checking the cruise control as well. That's working perfectly. What I'm looking for on these road tests, though, is we are looking at an 80,000 mile car. What wear and tear is there underneath the vehicle that I can feel through my driver's seat? The fact is, I can feel absolutely nothing at all. I can hear it going over the bumps, which is exactly what I should expecting to hear from the car. But what I'm not getting is any of those kind of other noises that you occasionally get. A few little clonks, bangs. They just give clue to the fact that it's done the miles it's done. They'll normally be just normal stuff. They're designed to wear out. Like little drop links and anti-roll bar links and struts that just have a little bit of movement. But that little bit of movement allows a bit of metal on metal, and you get the occasional sort of dunk 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 noise, and it just makes cars feel a little bit kind of old before their time. And this has none of it. Honestly, if someone comes and drives it, can tell me different. Fair play to you, but I've had loads of these, and this drives as well as any, including some very, very low mileage ones I've had. It feels absolutely as tight as a drum. The whole car does. Brake pedal of the car, lovely solid pedal. Pulls the nose down dead straight. There's no, we'll do it again, there's no pulling left, pulling right, none of that at all. So it's just discs, pads, struts, all in very good order indeed. Looking around inside the car, I love these cars inside. They're simple, they're nicely appointed, but they're quite beautifully built as well. Honda really do know how to sort of screw these things together well. They don't chase, some of the plastics are quite hard, there's no two ways about it, but it is a utilitarian car in that sense. It's got the luxury with the leather seats and the sat navs and that kind of stuff, but it has a purpose in life, and that's for family use predominantly, and it does it fantastically well. But they really do put these things together remarkably well. It just feels carved out of rock. It's got a lovely solidity about it, which you just sense as soon as you're driving it down the road. Sort of remember these words when you come and drive the car. It's just that feeling of just solidly rolling along, which is a lovely feeling in a car. It's 20 degrees outside today. It's a nice warm day. Air conditioning absolutely ice cold. So that's all working exactly as it should. As you can see there, hopefully sat nav working perfectly as well. Not as the rear parking camera works equally well. And then further down we've got controls for the dual zone climate control system, so of course you can have slightly different temperatures side to side as well. What's hard to get across on the video is just even basic switches like just going between modes of the air conditioning system. We all take it for granted, you just press the button, but it's the quality of the switch gear on the Hondas which is remarkable. And I remember an old motoring journalist talking about how Honda in particular, they are obsessed with these kinds of things. So there's no paint peeling off them. They'll actuate as well at 20,000 miles as at 300,000 miles, unless someone gets a hammer and wedges it against it or something. But it is brilliantly done. Further across, you've got a much more very conventional dashboard, and all the better for it. A big dominating rev counter and speedo. All the pixelation, all the displays working exactly as it should. In the middle of that, we've got a nice information display set up there, so you can check your sort of MPGs, trip meters, how much fuel you've got left, distance to running out and conking out the side of the road. And then you've got your steering wheel here, which feels fresh in my hand. Lovely size rim in it, perfect in terms of kind of just hands resting nicely. But it all works absolutely beautifully. It really does. As I said on these videos, I am critical. If there's something wrong, I'll tell you. If there isn't, I can't make it up. I can't find anything. I can't, in terms of kind of the mechanicals of the vehicle as I'm driving it, it doesn't feel like it's done the miles it's done. It feels, it's done less than half of them, let's put it that way. Just finally, just to quickly point out, obviously these are four-wheel drive cars, but unlike so many of its competitors, it doesn't run in four-wheel drive the whole time, because obviously that just chews up tyres, drinks fuel, puts loads of extra mechanical wear on the car. Well, this does, and Honda are very clever to work it out, is that most people won't use the four-wheel drive most of the time. They'll just drive along like this, so why waste all that? So what you get instead is you're in front-wheel drive the whole time. If the front wheels start to spin, let's say you're running across a muddy field, it'll automatically bring in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it'll automatically disengage it. You literally don't do anything, it does it all for you, and it works brilliantly. We've never ever had an issue, and we've sold thousands of these things. But anyway, that brings the video to an end. If I've missed anything, please do call me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.